Hey, what's happening, YouTube? This is S. Akuma coming back at you with another video. Today featuring my round 2 match in the case tournament in Collingswood, New Jersey at Top Deck Games. Shout out to them. This matchup is featuring Aerialbots versus my Sentinels. This is a heavy blue Aerialbot variant run by Vin of Vector Sigma. So generally this matchup is in Sentinel's favor, and the reason why is because I don't allow their deck to combine. The only way that Aerialbots will be able to combine pretty much is the turn before they would flip their final character, their 5th character to bot mode. When they flip a Enigma on their defense. If they flip Enigma on their defense the turn before they combine, that'll be the only way they combine. Otherwise, Mirage, combat commands with Mirage, and Espionage just rip their hand apart as much as possible. Which, on that note, I think Aerialbots should play 3 now, especially because Sentinels is not a great matchup for them. So I think he's only playing 2 in this list. Looking through his whole deck, I think now that I'm looking at the video, remembering, I think he had 1 card left in his deck at one point. I think I'll try to point that out when it comes up. And I'm like, does he play 3 Enigma? And I'm kind of like playing, because I'm thinking if I was playing Aerialbot at this tournament, I would have played 3 Enigma. So I'm just kind of assuming that he played 3 Enigma, thinking of the worst or the the highest case scenario for that situation. But okay, so it looks like I started off with Optimus into the guy I have to attack, Mr. Fireflight, and then his Skydive he leads with, gets a little bit of damage on Prime. I think I trade for Bashing Shield here. It has a very strong future value here. A lot of times you wouldn't really get a card like Bashing Shield against most matchups, clearly, especially because the meta is so heavily orange. But against this deck specifically, I know that he's never going to not play an armor. He has to play an armor and draw out my Bashing Shield. Or, I mean, I think he does play Espionage too, so worst case, he could just call green or orange and rob my Bashing Shield throughout the game. But it can just sit in my hand for now until he does play something that gets some type of value out of it. You don't generally want to do that. You want to kind of, I mean, like, as long as I still have another play, obviously every turn, an action and an upgrade can get some efficient plays, I should be fine. So here, Matrix of Leadership, I think is really good versus blue decks. I think versus any orange deck, I don't equip Matrix of Leadership unless I just need the extra +1 attack. Like if I have to, I think last match I displayed that I actually put the Matrix of Leadership on. Ooh, sorry for that blurry. Look at that. That's terrible. I got to work on that glare and work on the blurriness. Okay, so real quick, getting into the matchup. Looks like my Prowl's hitting for a pretty big attack. It's about 6, 11. Looks like 12 Pierce 1. And I get there and then kill his Skydive. So it's nice to get the kill on Skydive before he had armor. I mean, even then I did have Bashing Shield, so I don't know if 11 Pierce 1 or 12 Pierce, that extra 1 would have mattered. I couldn't really see what he flipped from the top of his flips. But yeah, so Matrix of Leadership, with that Pierce 1 and that extra 1 attack being able to spread, I think that's very valuable versus a blue deck. Versus orange decks, it really doesn't matter. I kind of usually, no, I won't say kind of doesn't, it doesn't matter. I play it if I have no other options. But if I have other upgrades, I almost always go for those upgrades before I go for Matrix of Leadership. But again, against blue decks, especially with the Pierce 1 and how blue decks work, it does have some value in it. And plus, the Optimus will live for a while. That's another big deal. Against blue decks, your Optimus will live a lot longer than it will against another orange deck. So Matrix of Leadership will have continuing value throughout a good couple turns. Well, I take that back, not here, because Air Raid just scrapped it, so that's relevant. That's one thing I kept forgetting about when I was playing against Air Raid. You have to be careful with that, whatever upgrade you equipped to your character, because Air Raid will most likely just get rid of it. It's a free ramming speed, so pretty solid play. So all in all, my Matrix of Leadership actually did what it really didn't do much. I guess it gave me that extra 1 attack versus the Skydive earlier. But again, like I said, I don't know if that mattered or not. But it is what it is. So right here, looks like I have to attack it to Air Raid. I'm pondering what I'm going to do next. My Sunstreaker and Mirage are flipped. Looks like Hot Rod is not flipped. And a quick tip, you don't always have to flip. Like, see right here, yeah, I flip my Mirage back. I don't flip my Hot Rod here just to deal 1 damage randomly. If I can pick off a character that has 1 health left, I'll do that. But right now I'm getting that extra utilization out of my Mirage. Did I not activate anything? Yeah, I don't think I activated any action or upgrade. Or I might have played something. Oh, okay, I played Espionage. Okay. That's a pretty good hit. I think Air Raid, does Air Raid have 7? I can't tell. That is so blurry. But this is where direct damage in general comes good in. You know, Hot Rod or your one-shot stands. Solid here. So Field Communicator. He's debating on who to put it on. Probably put it on Fireflight because he can just tap the Fireflight down. Here, oh no, he gets 3 attacks here, so I take that back. When we stand, I have to attack Fireflight no matter what. So yeah, that's what he does. He puts the security console on Fireflight because once he attacks, we're all tapped, and then we untap, and then on my next turn, I have to attack Fireflight again. And that security console will get some type of value. Get some value. Okay, so he flips Silverbolt here. Silverbolt deals 1 to my Prowl. He'll probably attack down on Prowl. Press the advantage. Okay, so I flip. I have 2 defense here, and he has what about 5 attack? I want to say 4 or 5 attack. 1 or 2. Okay. So there's my Enigma, but I don't think I get my Enigma here because I'm reusing my Mirage so many times. Like, even if I flip my Mirage back once, I'm already at 7 turns minimum to combine. So by then, hopefully I'll have won or, you know, unfortunately I've lost the game at that point by my turn 7. I don't think I'll need to get that far. So there's a sparring gear. He may or may not get it. And I see here, this is an interesting situation. He sees my Espionage and he's like, well, should I even bother getting the sparring gear? Because turn player priority, or okay, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh term, excuse me. Let me back up a little bit. Him being the turn player, he gets a choice at his green icon first. So if he gets his sparring gear, he sees I have Espionage. So it's like, well, if I get sparring gear, he's definitely going to get his Espionage and probably call. Oh, actually, I hit Bashing Shield too. So, like, this is not a good spot for him to get sparring gear, but he gets it anyway. Okay. Well, I won't say it's not a good spot, like it's a bad play if he got it, but, like, it's not, like, the most ideal thing because it's like I have 2 cards that can counter his sparring gear. So I don't actually get Espionage or Bashing Shield here. Keep in mind I do have another Bashing Shield in my hand, so that's probably why I didn't get anything, and I probably have another Espionage in my hand too. I did play 3 Espionage this tournament, so that's a possibility. So my Prowl's pretty dwindled down at 8 health. I know he does play Marksmanship. Marksmanship does not affect my deck though at all. That's another reason to not flip my characters in the front row, my Prowl, Ironhider, Prime, because it makes his Marksmanship dead. He'll always trade him. You know, this is a matchup that he will not be able to use those against. So if I was trying to combine and I, you know, flip my 3 guys in the back in the scrap pile, and then I started flipping my Ironhider, Prowl, or Prime, then I'm susceptible to his Marksmanships. So let's keep him dead. Okay, so his Air Raid was at 1 more health left. So see right there, that last turn I flipped Mirage back. I'm glad I didn't flip Hot Rod. And now I flipped Hot Rod to get that guaranteed kill, so I don't have to waste an attack on him, which is nice. But I still have to attack Fireflight here anyway. So if I'm just me looking at this right now, I'm sitting here thinking I really want to try to kill Fireflight, especially if you're playing another blue deck versus Aerialbots. You're gonna have a tough time against that Fireflight because if Fireflight gets a lot of value, the fact that you have to attack it 2 to 3 times in a blue versus blue matchup is very annoying. But me being in a orange matchup, I'm trying to. Okay, excuse me. When you're playing an aggressive deck like Sentinels or Bugs or whatever, you really want to try to kill Fireflight the first time, if not definitely the second time. Because the more times you have to attack Fireflight, the more value and other things your Aerialbot player is able to do. Okay, so I one-shot stand and slingshot the Fireflight. I don't know why I went so hard at the Fireflight like that. I think I wanted to make sure I killed him, looks like. I'm trying to think why. Well, I guess if I didn't one-shot stand, it's not like the Optimus has bold here. So let's say I didn't use the one-shot stand and I just Energon slingshot, that would have put him at 3, and then I attack 5, 7. Yeah, he would have still blocked enough and he would have actually still lived. So I needed to really guarantee, like I was just saying a couple minutes ago, I need to guarantee killing Firefight. So I take that back. It was the correct play then. Because if I didn't one-shot stand, the Fireflight would still be alive. Now, I guess technically next turn I could just one-shot stand the Fireflight anyway, and it'll still die. Excuse me. There's me fidgeting with the camera again. Not like it matters because that glare is still horrible at the top left and right. I got to work on that. See if I can get some type of shading tool or something. Okay, so it looks like he is going to play the sparring gear here. And I got him down to 2 bots, so I'm working him down as he works overtime and draws 2 cards. All right, so the Alpha Bravo gets in for 3 Pierce 3. He has 2 attack with Pierce 3, but he gets +1 attack from the field communicator. So now he has his full power, or full potential rather, and his 3 Pierce 3. So I take 3 definite damage, but I'm fine. My Prime still has a lot of health on him, so I'm not worried right now. Okay, I take that back. So did I miss something? He must have, I don't know. Looks like don't mind me. Horrible commentary. Okay, so see, I Mirage here, and then he actually ends up still I think he actually still combines this game. Now that I really think about it. Because I spoke in the beginning about trying to steal his Enigmas. You as the Aerialbot player, that's what you have to do. You have to get both of your Enigmas in hands and hope I don't have, oh, okay, well, I espionage. Okay, so I stole both anyways. There we go. Good job, Stefan. Okay, so and I have the Bashing Shield for the sparring gear. Just all the answers to kind of break his board up and rush his board before he gets to the other Enigma. If he flips Enigma right here, he'll still be able to combine. That's what I'm hoping he doesn't flip. I took both Enigmas, so he was able to shuffle both back in his deck. So he has a decent chance of, what was he at, 1, 2, maybe 2 other cards in hand. So he flips. Okay, so he does hit the Enigma. Still anyway. So that's really good for him. Ironhide attack wasn't that strong, but it's all good. All right, flips his last guy. Plays field communicator because Superion is not a specialist, so he played the field communicator first on his specialist, so he can actually get the effect, and now he'll activate the Enigma. So smart order of plays by him. And it looks like looks like my Prowl is going night-night. Because when Superion drops to the field, he gets to deal 3 damage to any target character. So it looks like my Prowl is going to get hit. And I think I misplayed here. Something now that I'm looking at this field. I think right here I'm trying to figure out how much health he had on his Superion. I think he said something and I don't think it was right. And I wasn't sure, so we went back and then we got to make sure we had the correct health. But yeah, I think I misplayed by attacking with the Ironhide and not the Prowl. Because now my Prowl lost an attack, so that was a huge misplay on my part, and that's something that I think I was so worried about direct damage, but the only direct damage that he had that could well, nothing, you know, his marksmanship couldn't target the Prowl, and even if he had armed hovercraft, I would still live by 1, so there was no direct damage card that he could have played, unless he does play one shot stand and I just didn't see it. That would have, or okay, I take that back. Infernal Breath could have got me too, but I shouldn't have been worried about Infernal Breath at that point, because if he played Infernal Breath, then that means he wasn't able to play the Enigma. So the turn I attacked with Ironhide, I should have attacked with Prowl. I should have still put the Bashing Shield on the Ironhide and then attack with the Prowl, because now right here, see, my Prowl lost an attack. He was untapped and was not able to attack. So lesson learned there. So 7 attack, bold 1, pierce 3, tough 2. That inborn tough's pretty strong. And looking at the health, he has 28 health left on his. He has 11 health left. He gets to attack whoever he wants, so I'm pretty sure he's hoping to kill Prime here. That's what it looks like. He has a definite pierce 3, bold 1, flip 2 more for his white. Or no, it's bold 2. I take that back, right? Is it bold 2? No, it's bold 1. Oh, no, okay, excuse me. He has bold 2 from his handheld blaster. My apologies. Okay, so my Prime lives. And I'm deciding if I want to get that, press the advantage. And right here, I'm in a decent spot because he didn't kill my Prime, I'm able to send the Prime back out there, possibly try to set up the Ironhide for a bigger attack and 2 future turns. So not my next turn, but my next turn. Set Ironhide up for, you know, a strong weapon like grenade launcher or whatever. And that's what I'm sitting here thinking before the plays are actually made. But we'll see, because I don't remember exactly what I do here. But yeah, like I said, that prowl, not attacking with that prowl and just missing a whole attack was definitely a misplay. Yep, so okay, his Superior has 28 damage on it, which means he has 11 health left. Flip Hot Rod back. Okay, no, I don't. Come on, Steph, what you think about? Okay, so I flip Prime here. Okay, I see what I'm doing. I flip Prime here to get that extra 1 attack. He's going to be KO'd no matter what because Superior has Pierce 3. So whether I was in bot mode or alt mode, the Pierce 3 would KO my Prime. So I'm sending my Prime out there to do his last bit of duty before hitting the KO pile. I do have grenade launcher, so okay, I grenade here. And I press. Looking back, I feel like I should have just pressed and kept the grenade for Ironhide. Because now my Ironhide doesn't have... Unless I have another weapon in hand. I'm not sure if I have another weapon in hand. It looks like while I was shuffling my hand, I think I seen a Noble's Blaster. Yeah, I do. Okay, that's a Noble's Blaster. So, okay, I do have another weapon. So I'm just trying to get as much damage in with the Prime in as I can. And, oh, okay, another thing I just realized. I put the grenade launcher on the Prime because the grenade launcher falls off. If I were to keep the... I wasn't going to put the Noble's Blaster on Prime because it, you know, the Noble's Blaster stays. The grenade launcher does get destroyed, so I'm fine with it dying. Like, because that way, then I'll... Okay, wait a minute. So much going on here. Actually, disregard what I said. Now that I really sit here and think about it, I don't think it mattered either way, which way I did it. The numbers end up still being the same. The only thing that would matter is how many blues he flips on defense. But I don't think it mattered either way. Now I get my weapon to stay. I'm confident that he won't be able to one-hit KO me next turn because I have 3 defense. So he has 13 health to get through total. My 10 actual health and 3 defense. Okay, so I do flip Hot Rod back. I had a prowl flip to kill his handheld blaster, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't play a lot of orange at all. So, all right, so I get a pretty nice attack. What's that? 6-8. I get about 12, and I think I just get there. Okay, so I lucked up. Even with the misplay with the prowl, I ended up lucking up. And I'm sitting here still trying to think, why did I replace the slingshot for a grenade launcher instead of just keeping the slingshot? I think I just want to try to press as much damage as possible before he really got going. And because I had no more bashing shield at that point, now that I really think about it, if he were to draw a sparring gear or get into a reinforced plating, it would have been even harder to get damage on him because now he has tough 4. So while he had no armor on him, I think I needed to try to get maximum damage. So 4 is definitely greater than 1, so I traded the grenade launcher for the slingshot to try to and then press the advantage to try to get some sizable damage on there, and I think that worked out because then Ironhide was able to KO Superior on the following turn. So here we go to game 2. Pretty sure he's going to start. I started game 1 with Optimus in the Fireflight, so this game I'm sure it seems like he'll go his skydive into probably my Prowl. Prowl is always the first target. Poor Prowl. Some shuffling. I probably shuffle too much. I'm so like paranoid. I'll shuffle a lot and then I'll draw like this, like a hand I don't like or something. And I'm like, well, too much shuffling. Paranoia. Right there, it looks like I'm saying hurry up. I doubt that's what it is, but we cool, Vin. All right, so game 2. I don't even bother looking at my hand. Looks like I'm definitely going second, which I'm cool with. So right here, being an Aerialbot player, again, he can flip Yeah, the helicopter guy was that Alpha Bravo. Alpha Bravo deals whenever an enemy plane attacks, deals one to that plane. I play no planes, so he's definitely okay with flipping that first. He does attack my prow. Prow takes about 2 damage. Nice blur. Okay. So here I think I flip the prow and I make a. I'm joking. I think I still go for Mirage here. We'll see. Yeah, no reason not to. This turn, I don't use Sunstreaker. Like I don't like to use Sunstreaker on my second turn unless my hand is just so terrible. Like a couple Peace through Tyrannies or just nothing playable to play on my first turn for my one action or one upgrade. If I being that I can only play one or the other, if I have a decent action or upgrade to play for the turn, I won't flip Sunstreaker. See, that was a Matrix Leadership is a perfect card to play on your first turn. Get that spread. Only thing, though, I clearly didn't learn my lesson from last game because now his air raid can clearly target my Optimus again and just get rid of my Matrix. So I don't think there's any way around that, though, because it's like, am I not going to activate the Matrix? Maybe I should have possibly played it on a turn where one of my other characters attacks, so that way it can get the extra 1 plus the Pierce because the character that the Matrix Leadership is on does not get the Pierce. So kind of just watching this with you guys and relearning and looking at some of the things I've done. Silly or smart. So I think I get 1 damage on Skydive. Yep, just 1. So not a good start for me, but it's all good. 1's better than none though, right? It's a fairly long match. Okay, so Field Communicator comes down on Alpha Bravo. He flips and hits a work overtime. He has how many cards in hand? Looks like he has 3 cards in hand. So yeah, he'll draw 1. This is a perfect example of, I mean, well, I don't want to say perfect example, but this is a nice example of taking opportunity of your opponent's misplays or not near as strong plays. Like, again, I played my, okay, so the bigger they are, he gets in with Silver Bolt, so taking a definite 4. So he's saving his air raid for later. Hits an orange on top of that, so he's at like 6 Pierce 4. I flip 1 blue, so I take the 4 no matter what. But capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes. Like, again, there's really nothing I can do. There's no way to stop air raid from, scrapping one of my upgrades. So, just gotta. But I don't think I probably should have played Matrix Leadership. I don't know. I can't really tell what my hand is. Maybe I could have played something else. But hey, I guess if I didn't activate the Matrix Leadership, Skydive wouldn't have at least 1 damage on it, right? Look at the bright side. Try to pull the goodness out of everything. Also, guys, let me know in the comments below if the way I'm talking and the way I'm presenting myself as I do these commentaries over these videos, if you like them. If you do like them, just comment down below and tell me that you like what I'm doing and you want me to continue to do what I'm doing. If you don't, tell me what I can change to make it better. Not just like your personal, gripes with me or anything, or about my shuffling or how many cards I play in my deck. Let me stop. But yeah, anything to make this better. I want to get some do a nice intro for my videos, my outro. I want to really get up on my video editing skills and make these videos as good a quality as possible for you guys. Okay, so here this turn I espionage again, and I probably called green. I called green because the for one, he plays little to no oranges in his deck, so calling green can also give me a wide opportunity or opportunity of a wide range of cards to pick from his hand because he plays other greens like Noble Blaster, his own espionage, etc. But I end up taking the sparring gear anyway. Calling orange would have specifically only let me take the sparring gear. If I saw the rest of his hand and he had green and like his own espionage or whatever, I might have I might want it to change my mind and possibly take his espionage or whatever. So calling green was the better choice there. So it looks like a grenade launcher on Ironhide. Went for a big attack. And okay, I'm scrapping it now. There we go. His character is still pretty healthy though. That Skydive's kind of chilling. I think I attacked the skydive again because I had some weird faith in my head that it would be at 1 damage, or maybe I have a one shot stand in my hand to be able to just kill it next turn. I'm gonna take a wild guess because I probably really should have attacked the Silverbolt, but probably had some wild idea in my head. I do that sometimes. It's all good. Not the end of the world. Yeah, the skydive looks like it has 7 damage on it. Yeah, so okay, what I wanted to happen happened. So next turn I can just flip hot rod and kill it. Not that he really cares because it's not like he is trying to like save it, like keep it untapped and save it for a later attack or whatever. I'm pretty sure he's aware of my direct damage. So, but this way next turn possibly Prowl can KO another bot, so I can get 2 kills in 1 turn. Flip a lot of double orange there on my defense. That sucks. But it's all good. So here it looks like I have a supercharge in my hand. What else do I have? He puts Fireflight to the forefront so I don't forget that I have to attack Fireflight. That'll work. All right, so my last flip is Hot Rod. Okay, yep, and I do kill the skydive. I have to really sit back and think if that's really even worth it. It is, for the fact that, let's say like he had 4 of his bots in bot mode. Well, if I didn't Hot Rod and kill it, it doesn't matter, because whether I kill that 1 bot, there's still just 1 less damage that Superion has when he combines. So probably should have just reflipped Mirage here. Now that I really think about it, I don't think I should have flipped the Hot Rod to kill the skydive. The only reason I should have flipped the skydive or flipped the Hot Rod is he were to send it into attack again to let it be destroyed, because he knows it's about to get KO'd anyway. So sitting back, looking back, I don't think I should have flipped the Hot Rod to kill skydive there. I should have reflipped the Mirage to continuously try to set him back. Yeah, because he still has 2 turns. Yeah, that was a misplay on my part. Because he still has 2 turns to combine. As you can see in his scrap zone. Forgive me for that blur. Every time I hit the camera, the autofocus. That's something that Joe from Wrecking Rule, shout out to him, was telling me about in my later rounds. So the video quality will get better with time. I promise. I'm still working on it. I'm a novice at it. And that's still blurry. That's not good. Yeah, I had the autofocus button on, so every time somebody hit the table, or I hit the table, or we slam something on the table, a card or whatever, it'll shake and it'll try to refocus until it stops shaking or whatever. So forgive me for this blur. Hopefully it stops soon. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, so he had 2 more bots to flip anyway. So okay, there we go. He had 2 more bots to flip, and so I should have reflipped Mirage, because on my next turn, I would flip Mirage back and take his Enigma. Now, I don't know if he had 2 Enigmas in his hand or not, but I think at this point, I kind of just gave up on stopping him from combining, because I definitely, I shouldn't have flipped that Hot Rod to kill the skydive. Again, the only time I should have flipped it is when if he were to send it in again after we all stood. But anyway, jumping back to the present. So it looks like he gets a couple of attacks in. He kills my Prowl. And he kills my Prowl this time without even combining. Like you saw last game, he combined to shoot my Prowl down. And I could tell I drew Peace through Tyranny there. I kind of threw my hands out like, really? I did that a good bit this tournament. So at this point, it looks like I'm comfortable with my hand and I have an action upgrade. I hope I have an action upgrade in my hand. Looking at these videos too will really help me for my next tournament as well, because I sit back and think that I really have to flip that Prowl to kill a weapon that only gives +1. Probably not. He'll just easily trade it off for a Noble's Blaster or whatever else he has anyway. So I probably should have flipped Sunstreaker to flip it back. At this point, I'm not going to flip-flop Mirage, because on his next turn, he's able to combine no matter what. But I probably should have either flipped Sunstreaker or Hot Rod to further, advance either my options, or further try to damage his, Superion, so I can, try and win. But here it looks like he's in a great position. All my characters are damaged. You can clearly look at his field and see none of his characters are damaged at all, or none of his 3 characters anyway. So Superion's coming out with a very healthy amount of health. At this point, I think I'm just kind of playing it out. And another thing I'm thinking about, and possibly a tip for you guys, if you realize turns ago that you made a misplay and you see where the game is going, I guess, you can kind of just possibly still play it out and it's like, hey, you still might be able to win. But I'm a fan of, if I'm beaten, scoop your cards up and get to the next game to save for time. Because as you'll see, once we get to game 3, spoiler alert, we speed up. We speed up because we only had like 13 minutes left in the round. So we had to play really fast. And I don't think I played too slow this game. I think most of my plays were I took a minute or less to make my plays. But just looking back, I messed up once or twice here. And this will definitely help for my next tournament and seeing who I should have reflipped. Flipping that prow was definitely not correct. But it's all good. You win and you learn, like I always say. So here, I think, if I recall correctly, he's thinking about actually not combining this turn because I forgot exactly what his reason was, but I feel like because he should have just dropped down the Enigma at this time, right? I mean, all his guys are clearly in bot mode, from what you can see anyway. But yeah, his guys are all definitely in bot mode, and I don't think he combines this turn. Yeah, he just kind of still keeps me attacking where he wants me to attack, and I'm sitting there trying to think why he did that. I'm gonna have to. Okay, he had Inferno Breath too. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. 3 damage and then yep. Close to killing my Ironhide here. 3 defense. Is that area? Yeah, he had 6 attack there. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Okay, so that I see how that worked out. See, on his next turn, now he can combine on his next turn and just easily destroy my Ironhide with Superion's effect to deal 3 damage. So that future planning by him was very smart. Another small example of capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes. He was able to make these type of plays because I did some incorrect plays earlier. So when you're able to take advantage, do so. Just like earlier when I attacked in the skydive and that worked out because it had 1 health left and I wanted to kill it with Hot Rod. For him, this is actually a bigger deal because when my guys get KO'd, they're not coming back in the form of Maximus, most likely. Although I did get my Enigma, but well, I guess I'm only 2 turns behind for combining, but the problem is he'll kill my Ironhide and close to kill my Prime. And it's not looking good for me because his Superion will have a decent amount of health, so. Okay, so I do flip Ironhide here, planning on combining the next turn. I play 1-shot stand. I kill the was it Alpha Bravo? Okay, so I do trade for a combat commands, and I'm hoping to rip his Enigma out of his hand. Sitting here thinking back, if I would have reflipped the Mirage earlier, I would have had this play to be able to steal 2 actions out of his hands on this turn in order to take his Enigma. Both Enigmas. But yep, as he planned, and that's smart by him. The way to counter me is the way to counter Sentinels, unless they are able to flip Mirage that turn and take 1 Enigma and then reflip it with combat commands and take your other one. The counter is to have 2 in your hand when they go for their Mirage or Espionage play. So that way you still have the 1, obviously, to still be able to combine. So very good on his part. If you guys have any further questions or want to timestamp me back to a certain play that I made, also comment down below. And there's the Enigma. Also comment down below and we'll discuss it, talk about it, and I'll further explain why I messed up. Why I think I messed up anyway, and go from there. Also, be looking forward to a Sentinel video, just a couple more tips and tricks, just talking about the deck specifically, and all the different strengths of the deck, some of its weaknesses, and what I plan to do with the deck in the future. I've been playing Sentinels since the beginning of this format. I'll say this format as in like this wave 2. I probably won't play any other deck, to be honest with you. It's the only deck I really like. Not even gonna front. It's the only deck I like right now. I don't like any other deck. So just keep tweaking this deck, trying different things every set or every tournament. Different projects I wanted to try. Like I said, last time was 42. This next tournament I might go down back to 40. I might go back. I might stay at 42 just because I can. Okay, so I lose this game and we end up going to game 3. And I think we had like 13 or 14 minutes left in the round, so we really speeded up here, which is kind of a negative, which is a drawback, I think, for Sentinels more than Aerialbots. His plays are a lot more straightforward. Mine are a little bit, maybe I'm making them harder than what they need to be, but I feel like I have to be a lot more careful with my flips because I have 6 flips and guys in my KO. Well, it's not 6 flips, excuse me. I have 3 flips and I want to be able to flip them at the correct time and have them make an impact when I do flip them. So yeah, hopefully I don't do that again. Like, against a deck that's not a combiner deck, flipping Hot Rod to kill a character that has 1 health left is great. But when you're playing against a combiner deck, that's just 1 less health the entire combiner will have. So it's not that serious. The only time, again, that play, I'm mentioning this for the 3rd or 4th time now because I'm so tight that I made that play. And like I said, I've learned from it, was when we all stood back up. If his skydive with 1 health left were to attack, because he put him out there because he knew it was going to be KO'd, well, then I can flip the Hot Rod to destroy it and then go attack whoever I want. Or I guess I would take that back. I would have had to attack Fireflight, but at least I wouldn't have attacked where he wanted me to attack necessarily. Okay, yeah, so no reason to flip Sunstreaker on your first turn since I can't do anything anyway. So I'll flip Mirage and try to slow him down. Okay, so I took his Espionage, so that's good for me. So now he can't Espionage me. He does get an Enigma early, so I know he has 1. So now I'm counting with him. See, he didn't draw anything for turn. It's not like he drew Enigma for turn. So now I know he for sure has 1. So I'm just trying to get rid of that 1 and get rid of that last one throughout the game. And I won't necessarily get rid of Enigmas every time I flip Mirage. It depends on my hand. If I have like combat commands or Mirage or Espionage, I might hold off and it's like, get his Enigmas in later turns. Because he's not activating the Enigmas, of course, at all until turn 5 or later. So get rid of his other important actions like the bigger they are or his Espionage or his Sparring Gears or whatever. Okay, so incoming transmission here. I have a double orange in my hand, drew another double orange, but it's all good. I can fix my hand just a little bit, set the improvised shield back on top. Noble's Blaster looks like. Okay, so I flip Hot Rod here. There's no reason to flip Sunstreaker because I would have drew my double orange. And then also there would be no reason to flip Sunstreaker anyway because I played my action and my upgrade for the turn. So I'm not fishing for anything. Okay, so I reflipped. Excuse me. I flip-flopped. I flipped Hot Rod to deal 1 to, looks like Air Raid. And then I flip-flopped Mirage to steal his Enigma. So here he's getting his other Enigma. So right now he needs to think, well, if I don't kill Ironhide, when Ironhide stands back up, I get to attack again and steal his other Enigma. So he might actually, this is good for me in terms of keeping Prowl, my stronger attacker out there, because he might go for my Ironhide. If I'm thinking from the Aerialbot standpoint, I would try to get rid of the Ironhide now so it can't flip with combat commands again, but we'll see. We're also playing a little faster here because we don't want to have a draw. Plus, I owe Vinny here anyway because he beat me with Metroplex a couple of months ago. Nah, I'm joking. Well, I'm not joking that he beat me. He did beat me, but it's all love. A little blurry again. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, Mr. Joe from Wrecking Rule did point out the autofocus thing to me. All right, so I flip Sunstreaker here to give me more options. Seems like a good turn to do that. Get an efficient upgrade in action this turn. Draw some good cards. Well, the Enigma is not necessarily good here, but I know I had another double orange in my hand, so I'll definitely stack that with no question. Decent upgrade. Get to attacking on the Fireflight. Let's try to get rid of the Fireflight this turn. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good flip. It's 12, looks like. And he has 6, and he takes 6. Yeah, 6 defense and takes 6. All right, so dealt with the Firefly, so I don't have to worry about him anymore. Now he gets 2 attacks on me. A lot better than the 3 he's had on me a couple times. Security checkpoint. See, this is what I'm saying. Most of my games you'll see against my Sentinel match, I got security checkpointed for, I think, my whole hand. And there you kind of just lose the game because it's like, well, my options are pretty low. But most games I had like a hand like that, like 1 or 2 upgrades or whatever. But just the times I got security checkpoint, it was pretty devastating. So, but what do you do? All right, get to attack into my prowl. I have 2 defense. I think that's air raid that it's attacking. Okay, Alpha Bravo into prowl. Oh no, okay, yeah, I guess he vaporized earlier. It looks like he vaporized and got rid of my combat commands because he knew what that meant. But I think, you know what? I think knowing me and just looking at the way I'm shuffling my hand, or the cards in my hand, I think I have espionage. So I'm not worried that he took my combat command. So I kind of detoured him away from, not detoured him, but, got him to get rid of my combat commands, which is still solid for him. It's not like it was a bad scrap, but the espionage secures the fact that he still has a couple cards left in his deck, and I know one Enigma's in the grave because I took it earlier in his scrapyard, and then the other one I'll be able to take out of his hand with espionage, and there I am. See, I think I learned from the last game to reflip the correct characters. So if you can learn pretty fast, good on you. Here it is, the espionage, called green. Do I not take the... Oh, wow. Why did I do that? YouTube? I'm signing out. Why? I don't think I took the Enigma because he still had 2 turns. Okay, yes. That's what it is. So he still, on his next turn, he still can combine anyway. So I reflipped the Mirage, set the Mirage to get ready. I called green specifically because green hits multiple cards. I wouldn't call blue because the Enigma is not blue at all, of course. So I called green, and he also had Noble's Blaster too. And since I've seen it, Noble's Blaster can actually do some damage on his next turn. So I wanted to leave him with as few options as possible because now on my next turn, I'll be able to Mirage and take the Enigma out of his hand. So if he goes to flip a green and he trades the Enigma for something just so I can't Mirage it, I'm fine with that because I just don't want him to combine. Yeah, we're moving pretty fast here. If you can hear me breathing on this thing, let me know too. This microphone, this snowball is pretty cool. It picks up just about everything, so I gotta watch how I'm breathing on this thing. All right, so skydive. Learned my lesson from last time. He's alive still right now. He's I want to say not alive. I'm not targeting him down for attacks. He's not as important. Okay, yep, I flipped the Mirage as I should. Got the Enigma out of his hand. Now I'm just hoping here that he doesn't flip an Enigma on his defense like he did before, because there's absolutely nothing I can do once he does. Because on his next turn, he'll be able to combine uninterrupted. Okay, so I one shot here, get rid of a bot. Pretty strong. My Optimus is still sitting at a healthy 10 health, rather. So I'm not too worried. Ooh, got a grenade launcher too. That's pretty good. For my goals, anyway, that's pretty good. So it's pretty strong. It looks like I'm probably trying to KO 2 bots this turn. Looking for the easiest target. I feel like I go for Air Raid, I'm gonna guess. Can't tell. No, I go for the Silver Bolt. I go for the Silver Bolt there to entice him or to detour him from wanting to attack with it and putting him out there to die, because it has the best upgrade out on the field on him right now anyway. Okay, so reinforced plating. I'm not too worried at this point because he's not able to combine. I think he did reshuffle his deck, but I think I think at this point I'm in a very good position because he can't combine like, right away. He really has to get it on his defense. And why he really has to he could get it on his offense, but if he gets a Enigma on his offense, if I have Espionage in my hand, I could just take it again. So and I think I do have Espionage in my hand, looking at my hand shuffle. Okay, so I supercharge, try to go for a kill here. Bold 4 total. It's pretty strong flip. 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 14. It's a lot. He got a lot too. He flipped about 8 defense, but the 14 ended up overriding. That 6 definitely KO'd. Oh yeah, at this point, yeah, I remember now. He was trying to draw Enigma for his turn, so just hoping he didn't, and so far he hasn't. Because he would easily just be able to pop off my Prowl or my Ironhide, probably the Prowl since it had a weapon on it. But he kills it anyway right here. We stand, and it looks like I can send Prime in again because Prime will definitely live through an attack. Or actually, you know what? Oh no, he gets 2 kills here. Okay. Disregard everything I just said. What I was going to say is I would definitely attack with Ironhide if he were to live. That way, when he does go in Superion, he'll probably still kill it with Superion anyway. So right here, I'm in a kind of tough spot. My Prime is not suited up at all. He has no weapons or anything on him. And, okay, I flip Hot Rod, deal 1 to Air Raid. I'm dealing 1 to Air Raid because Air Raid has the Pierce. He has that guaranteed damage. So I'm trying to... Oh, okay, I have One Shot Stand again. Okay, wow. One Shot Stand killed his bot, and then now it's just me versus an Air Raid. And I get a pretty strong flip. Before the video ends, I would like to say I appreciate you all being here. If you stayed here for the entire 48 or 49 minutes, appreciate you guys staying with me, hanging out with me, getting in the Sentinel player's head, learning some plays from me, and or some of the plays that I've done anyway. If you learned anything, I'm happy. If you have any gripes about the matchup or anything that anything else you saw that maybe I didn't see, let me know in the comments down below, and keep the conversation healthy, Always down to discuss some things about some of my plays. Like I said, I do admit I made some incorrect plays here, but nobody's perfect. Still learning the deck as I go. But again, I appreciate all you guys being here with me. And round 3, my round 3 was against Dan of Vector Sigma. And you will see that match sometime this week or maybe next week. That game was recorded on their channel. So... And yeah, it looks like I get the win right here. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. This is S. Akuma signing out.